Welcome to our channel, Legends of Black Excellence. Today, we're diving deep into the shocking and often hidden lives of 25 black celebrities who have been living secrets that will leave you speechless. From legal battles and personal scandals to dramatic public feuds, these stars have seen it all. You won't believe the jaw-dropping revelations we're about to uncover. Stick around, because what we reveal might change the way you see these icons forever. Ready for the truth? Let's get started. Arthur Kelly, Robert Sylvester Kelly. Arthur Kelly's legal troubles have plagued him for years, and his downfall has marked a significant turning point in the entertainment industry's reckoning with accountability. For a long time, his fame and wealth seemed to shield him from the consequences of his actions. However, the reality caught up with him. Today, he serves a lengthy prison sentence after being convicted in federal courts in New York and Chicago for serious offenses, including organized extortion and human trafficking. Though recently Illinois prosecutors decided to drop additional charges against him, this decision was not because the allegations lacked merit. State's Attorney Kim Foxx explained that resources were being prioritized for other cases, especially since Kelly had already faced a substantial sentence. This case became even more complicated with the involvement of two of Kelly's former associates, Darryl McDavid and Milton Brown, who are also facing charges. McDavid, Kelly's former business manager, allegedly helped cover up evidence and orchestrated the 2008 trial. Prosecutors claim that Kelly and McDavid paid off witnesses and gave expensive gifts to Jane and her family to silence them. Over the years, Kelly's defense attorney, Jennifer Bonjean, maintained that he deserved a fair trial and accused the government of fostering a mob justice atmosphere, driven by media outrage and social media frenzy. She also argued that some witnesses extorted Kelly and were testifying under immunity deals. Behind the celebrity facade, Arthur Kelly's hidden life exposed the dark reality that fame, power, and wealth can be manipulated to mask the truth. His case serves as a glaring reminder that even the most celebrated figures can harbor horrifying secrets beneath the surface. Bill Cosby, William Henry Cosby Jr. Bill Cosby's story stands as one of the most shocking downfalls in Hollywood history. For decades, he was beloved by many, a father figure known for his iconic role on The Cosby Show and his work championing African American communities. However, in 2014, everything changed when allegations of sexual assault began to surface, with over 60 women coming forward with accusations. These accusations were not entirely new. Whispers had circulated for years but were often dismissed, with victims silenced. The turning point came when comedian Hannibal Buress mentioned Cosby's alleged crimes during a stand-up routine, sparking a chain reaction. Women began to speak out, sharing stories from as far back as the 1960s. Many of these incidents were beyond the statute of limitations, but in 2015, Cosby was charged in connection with Andrea Constance's case. During his testimony, Cosby admitted to using quaaludes during sexual encounters, which only deepened public outrage. In 2018, Cosby was convicted and sentenced to 3 to 10 years in prison. Yet, in 2021, his conviction was overturned due to a prior agreement with prosecutors, and he was released. However, this didn't end his legal troubles. Cosby faced civil lawsuits, including one in 2022, where a jury awarded $500,000 to Judy Huth for an assault that occurred in 1975 when she was just 16 years old. In 2023, 9 more women filed lawsuits against him. Cosby's legacy as a beloved TV icon has been permanently tainted by the horrifying truth behind his public persona. Chris Brown, Christopher Maurice Brown. The 2009 assault on Rihanna by Chris Brown remains one of the most shocking moments in his career, and truthfully, it's something he admits will haunt him forever. The incident took place after a party when the two were in the car together. Rihanna discovered a message on Chris's phone from another woman, and the situation quickly escalated. They began arguing, and according to Chris, Rihanna became angry and started hitting him. That's when he did something he says he'll always regret: he punched her. He described the moment as shocking even to himself. He admitted to hitting her with a closed fist, causing her lip to tear. Upon seeing the injury, he couldn't believe what he had done. But the altercation didn't end there. Rihanna spat blood at his face, and Chris admits that this made him even angrier. What followed was a violent physical fight right there in the car. Eventually, he pulled over, and Rihanna drove herself home. Later, the photos of Rihanna's injuries spread across the media, showing her bruised face and split lip. Chris later spoke about looking at those photos and not recognizing himself. He referred to himself as a monster for what he did and acknowledged that the argument was over something trivial and foolish. The incident forever altered both of their lives and careers, with Chris facing public backlash, legal consequences, and significant damage to his reputation. It serves as a grim reminder of how a single moment of anger can spiral into a life-changing event, and it's a part of Chris Brown's secret life that continues to shadow his career. He has since tried to move forward, but that moment from 2009 will always be a stain on his legacy. Kanye West, Kanye Omari West. Kanye West, now known as Ye, has spent years in the spotlight, but more recently for reasons that have shocked the world. His controversial statements and offensive actions have stirred massive backlash, making him one of the most polarizing figures in entertainment. One of the most shocking moments occurred on October 9th, when Kanye tweeted a disturbing message, "I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people," referencing a military defense term. The tweet was quickly deleted, but the damage was done. This wasn't the only controversy. During Paris Fashion Week, Kanye wore a shirt emblazoned with "White Lives Matter," a direct insult to the Black Lives Matter movement, which sparked outrage. Then, on a podcast, he made absurd claims about the death of George Floyd, suggesting it was caused by fentanyl rather than the knee of a police officer on his neck. These actions led to widespread condemnation, with many companies severing ties with him. Adidas, which had a $1.5 billion deal with Kanye, ended their partnership, citing their intolerance for hate speech. Other brands followed suit, cutting ties with Ye over his erratic behavior and anti-Semitic remarks. Social media platforms also took action, banning Kanye from Twitter and Instagram for his offensive posts. This was not the first time he faced such consequences. Earlier that year, Kanye was banned from Instagram for 24 hours after using racist language against Trevor Noah. As for his apology, it was mixed. In an interview with Piers Morgan, he said he was sorry for those hurt by his actions, but quickly followed up by stating that he had no regrets about what he had said. His public behavior continues to unravel, revealing a disturbing side of the once beloved artist. Michael Jackson. Michael Joseph Jackson. The brilliance of Michael Jackson's musical legacy often fades into the shadows cast by the chilling controversies that plagued his private life, unveiling secrets so shocking they ignited global debates. In 1993, a storm erupted when a family acquaintance leveled grave accusations against him, claiming he had engaged in deeply disturbing behavior with their child. Jackson fiercely denied the charges, insisting he was a target of greed-driven extortion. The matter never reached a criminal courtroom due to insufficient evidence, but he settled the civil suit for a staggering $20 million, an act that unleashed a torrent of speculation. To some, this payout painted him as guilty, a man burying dark truths beneath his wealth. To others, it was merely a desperate bid to escape a grueling legal ordeal. The whispers of his hidden life grew louder, but the real tempest struck in 2005, when allegations far more sinister emerged. This time, he was accused of preying on 13-year-old Gavin Arvizo within the eerie confines of his Neverland ranch. The ensuing trial became a media maelstrom, splitting the world into factions, those who saw the king of pop as a malign genius, and those convinced his charm masked a monstrous predator. Prosecutors painted a harrowing portrait of Jackson wielding his fame and fortune to ensnare vulnerable children, while his defense team countered that the claims were vile fabrications born of avarice. The courtroom saga stretched over months, punctuated by high-profile testimonies, including Macaulay Culkin's staunch defense, asserting he'd never witnessed anything untoward. Ultimately, Jackson was acquitted on all counts, yet the verdict did little to dispel the ominous cloud over his reputation. These horrifying secrets, whether true or twisted by rumor, cemented his place among the 25 black celebrities whose private lives unravel into nightmares too ghastly to ignore. Far beyond the spotlight of his iconic performances, Jackson's story reveals a labyrinth of enigma and dread, forever haunting the glittering facade of his stardom. T.I., Clifford Joseph Harris Jr., and Tiny. Tamika Diane Harris. T.I. and Tiny, the renowned rapper duo, found themselves at the center of serious allegations that rocked their fanbase to its core. It all began when a number of individuals came forward with disturbing accusations of inappropriate behavior, including harassment, with some incidents allegedly dating back to 2005. By March, at least 30 people had contacted a lawyer, sharing eerily similar stories. The accusations ranged from being drugged and coerced into unwanted situations to outright sexual assault. As the story spread, the Los Angeles Police Department, LAPD, and other law enforcement agencies launched an investigation into the couple. One particularly disturbing claim came from a woman who alleged she was only 17 when she was drugged and woke up in pain, realizing she had been assaulted. These stories quickly spread across social media, gaining significant attention and making it nearly impossible to ignore. However, T.I. and Tiny vehemently denied the allegations. T.I. dismissed the claims as lies, even going so far as to release a song addressing the situation, calling the accusations anonymous provocative conversation. Despite the growing controversy, the investigations eventually stalled. Prosecutors decided not to pursue charges, citing the expiration of the statute of limitations on many of the incidents. Technically, this closure meant that no formal charges would be filed, but it did little to clear the couple's names. Critics argued that this situation underscored the need for updates to laws regarding the time frame in which victims can come forward with their stories, particularly in cases involving such serious accusations. Nicki Minaj, Annika Tanya Marriage Petty. Nicki Minaj and her husband, Kenneth Petty, have found themselves at the center of a storm of controversy due to Petty's criminal past and allegations of harassment. The saga dates back to 1994, when Petty was convicted for a sexual offense involving a woman named Jennifer Hoff, both of them being just 16 years old at the time. According to Hoff, Petty threatened her with a knife, and after she managed to escape, she reported the incident to the police. Petty served nearly 4 years in prison after pleading guilty. For years, Hoff remained silent, trying to move on with her life, but everything changed when Petty married Nicki Minaj in 2020. Petty was arrested for failing to register as a sex offender in California, which reignited the past allegations. Following his arrest, Hoff claimed she was contacted by Minaj and others, allegedly pressuring her to retract her story. Hoff revealed that she was offered up to $500,000 and even birthday gifts for her daughter, all in exchange for saying the assault never happened. When she refused, she said she faced continuous harassment, threats, and intimidation. In a lawsuit, Hoff detailed how she was forced to move multiple times and live in isolation out of fear of retaliation. Minaj publicly defended her husband, even stating on social media that Petty and Hoff had once been in a romantic relationship, an assertion Hoff denied. Hoff's lawyer stated that she only came forward to protect herself after years of trying to avoid the spotlight. He described the harassment as relentless, saying it made her life unbearable. Just when you think the story couldn't get more shocking, we delve into the fabricated attack involving Jussie Smollett that rocked the nation. Jussie Smollett, Jussie Langston Mika Smollett. The Jussie Smollett hate crime scandal remains one of the most shocking and bizarre incidents in recent entertainment history. In January 2019, Smollett, best known for his role on Empire, reported to the Chicago police that he had been attacked by two men who yelled racial and homophobic slurs. He claimed they poured bleach on him, tied a noose around his neck, and shouted, "This is MAGA country," referring to Donald Trump's campaign slogan. Initially, many rallied behind Smollett, outraged by such a hateful act. However, cracks soon began to appear in his story. Investigations revealed that Smollett had orchestrated the entire attack with the help of two brothers who had previously worked as extras on Empire. Evidence showed that Smollett paid them $3,500 to stage the attack and even bought supplies like the noose and ski masks. In February 2019, Smollett was charged with filing a false police report. Although the initial charges were dropped in a controversial deal, the city of Chicago sued him to recover the $130,000 spent investigating the hoax. A special prosecutor later revived the charges, and in 2021, Smollett was convicted on 5 felony counts. He was sentenced to 150 days in jail and ordered to pay $120,000 in restitution for the cost of the investigation. The scandal left a stain on his career, and the shocking details of the case revealed a darker side to the actor's life that many had never expected. Whitney Houston, Whitney Elizabeth Houston. Whitney Houston is remembered as one of the greatest singers of all time, but behind her extraordinary talent lay a heartbreaking struggle with addiction. To the world, she appeared to have everything: an unparalleled voice, fame, and success. However, her personal life told a different story. By the late 1990s, rumors of Whitney's drug use began to surface. Her absences and erratic behavior made it increasingly difficult for her to hide the truth. In candid interviews, she admitted to using drugs, revealing the darker side of her ongoing battle. Her marriage to Bobby Brown added another layer of complexity. Their relationship was often toxic, with reports of substance abuse and domestic violence. Whitney later opened up about the difficulties she faced behind closed doors, sharing the challenges she experienced in both her personal life and marriage. Over the years, Whitney tried to seek help. She entered rehab multiple times, showing a desire to overcome her addiction, but frequent relapses made it hard for her to break the cycle. Despite periods of sobriety, the grip of addiction was nearly impossible to escape. On February 11, 2012, the world lost Whitney. She was found unresponsive in a hotel bathtub in Beverly Hills, and toxicology reports revealed substances like cocaine and Xanax in her system. Whitney's death marked the tragic end of a career that had once seemed limitless, and it left fans and the world mourning the loss of an icon whose personal struggles had remained hidden in the shadows for so long. Bobby Brown, Robert Beresford Brown. Bobby Brown, once a prominent name in music, has lived a life full of ups and downs. While he gained fame as a member of New Edition, his personal life was overshadowed by his ongoing struggles with addiction and frequent legal troubles. Bobby has openly discussed his battles with drugs and alcohol, revealing how his substance abuse began at an early age. He admitted to starting with alcohol as a child and then moving on to marijuana, which became his drug of choice. However, things escalated when he met Whitney Houston. Bobby confessed that it was during their marriage that he began using cocaine, and his addiction worsened over time. At one point, he even admitted to cooking cocaine and using heroin. His addiction reached such a severe level that in 1993, he was reportedly in trouble with a gang over drug debts, forcing Whitney to pay a ransom to save him. Bobby's legal troubles began in 1989 and continued for decades. He faced numerous charges ranging from DUI to disturbing the peace, assault, and even failure to pay child support. There were several instances where he was arrested, including one where he was accused of assaulting Whitney and threatening her. Bobby also spent time in prison for violating parole and not paying child support. His issues with alcohol didn't stop either. He was arrested for DUI multiple times, with his most recent arrest coming in 2012. Bobby's tumultuous life has become a tragic reminder of how addiction and personal struggles can derail the career of someone who was once at the peak of success. DMX, Earl Simmons. DMX, one of the most iconic rappers of his time, lived a life filled with raw talent and profound pain. His music touched millions, but behind the scenes, he battled an addiction that started when he was just a child. In a deeply emotional interview, DMX opened up about how it all began at the age of 14. He trusted a mentor he admired, only to have that trust shattered when the man handed him a crack pipe, without warning. DMX described that moment as life-changing, one that set the course for a battle with addiction that would last for decades. It's heartbreaking to think that someone he looked up to would betray him in such a way, especially at such a vulnerable age. He asked, "Why would you do that to a kid, someone who looks up to you?" That moment marked the beginning of a struggle that DMX would carry with him for years. He also spoke about growing up in a rough neighborhood, where showing emotion or discussing personal struggles was seen as a sign of weakness. But DMX believed the opposite, that facing your pain and being open about it is one of the bravest things you can do. He often shared the importance of confronting your inner demons before they take control of your life. Despite his many challenges, DMX remained resilient, openly discussing his hardships and using his platform to inspire others to face their own battles. His honesty about his addiction and personal pain helped countless fans feel seen and understood, showing that even the strongest can be vulnerable. DMX's legacy was not just in his music, but in the way he confronted the darkness in his life. His story is a testament to the power of honesty and the courage it takes to fight your inner demons, even when the world seems to be falling apart. Tiger Woods, Eldrick Taunt Woods. Tiger Woods was once the embodiment of perfection, both on and off the golf course, holding the title as one of the greatest golfers in history. By 2009, he was at the peak of his career, a global sports icon with a spotless public image. But everything crumbled when his extramarital affairs became public, sending shockwaves through the sports world and leaving fans stunned. The scandal began when the National Enquirer published a report about his alleged affair with nightclub hostess Rachel Uckadel. While Uckadel initially denied the claims, Tiger's world began to unravel days later, when he was involved in a mysterious car accident near his Florida home, crashing into a fire hydrant and a tree. As the days went on, more women came forward, each claiming to have had an affair with the golf star. In total, over a dozen women revealed their involvement with him. In response, Tiger issued a public apology, acknowledging his mistakes and the harm he caused. He announced he would take an indefinite leave from professional golf to focus on his personal life. The fallout was swift and severe. Major sponsors like AT&T, Gillette, and Gatorade severed their ties with him, costing him millions of dollars. Even Golf Digest ceased publishing his regular column. While Nike continued to support him, the damage to his reputation was undeniable. The personal consequences were just as devastating. His wife, Ellen Nordegren, filed for divorce, and their marriage, which had lasted 6 years, officially ended in 2010. In February of the same year, Tiger appeared on television to publicly apologize, admitting that his fame and wealth had made him believe he was invincible. He revealed that he sought therapy, coming to terms with how deeply he had gone astray. By March, he announced his return to golf, but his public image never fully recovered. Despite his return to the sport, the scandal marked a turning point in his career, proving how fragile the life of a celebrity can be when personal secrets are exposed to the world. O.J. Simpson, Orenthal James Simpson. O.J. Simpson's murder trial remains one of the most talked about legal cases in American history. In 1994, O.J., a football legend and actor, was accused of brutally murdering his ex-wife Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend Ron Goldman. The trial, often dubbed the trial of the century, began in January 1995 and lasted for months. It was broadcast live on television, turning everyone involved into household names, from the dream team of defense lawyers like Johnny Cochran and Robert Shapiro, to prosecutors Marcia Clark and Christopher Darden. The evidence was shocking. Nicole's blood was found in O.J.'s car, on a bloody glove at his home, and on his socks. However, the defense team argued that the evidence was mishandled and even planted by the LAPD, citing the department's history of racial discrimination. The case quickly evolved into a battle over race, police corruption, and O.J.'s guilt or innocence. One of the most iconic moments of the trial occurred when O.J. tried on the blood-stained glove in court, and it didn't fit. Johnny Cochran famously told the jury, "If it doesn't fit, you must acquit." That line may have swayed the verdict. On October 3, 1995, after just 3 hours of deliberation, the jury returned a verdict of not guilty, acquitting O.J. Simpson of all charges. The trial left a lasting impact on American culture, raising questions about race, justice, and the power of celebrity in the legal system. Lauryn Hill, Lauryn Noel Hill. Lauryn Hill is undeniably one of the greatest musical talents of her generation, but her life behind the scenes has been plagued by controversy. In 2012, Hill found herself in serious legal trouble when she was charged with failing to pay taxes on $1.8 million in earnings from 2005 to 2007. Lauryn admitted to not filing her taxes, explaining that she had withdrawn from the public eye in order to protect herself and her family from the toxic nature of the entertainment industry. While this was a bold statement, the court did not share her sentiment. When Lauryn pled guilty, the judge was displeased with her ability to repay only $50,000 of the $554,000 she owed by 2013. To make matters worse, Lauryn faced eviction from her home and zoning issues due to running a business from her residence. As she attempted to rebuild her career, she released the single, Neurotic Society, but it failed to generate the kind of attention her fans had hoped for. By May 2013, Lauryn was sentenced to 3 months in prison, followed by 3 months of home confinement and 1 year of supervised probation. She managed to pay back nearly $1 million in back taxes and fines, but the ordeal highlighted the severe financial and personal struggles she was dealing with. Lauren spoke openly about feeling like a part of an oppressive economic system, and how, despite earning substantial money for others, she felt the need to live simply. The events of 2012 painted a stark contrast to the image of the free-spirited, self-assured artist she had once been. Instead, it revealed a woman wrestling with deep personal dilemmas, facing the consequences of her actions while still trying to maintain her integrity and privacy in an unforgiving world. Jay-Z, Sean Corey Carter. Jay-Z and Beyoncé are one of the most powerful couples in the world, but their relationship has not been without its dark moments. One of the biggest controversies surrounding them was Jay-Z's infidelity, a topic he openly addressed in a candid interview with the New York Times. Jay-Z revealed that childhood trauma led him to build emotional walls, making it difficult for him to connect with others, including his wife, Beyoncé. The rumors about his unfaithfulness began swirling in 2013, especially after the infamous elevator incident where Beyoncé's sister, Solange, was caught on camera attacking Jay-Z while Beyoncé stood silently beside them. The couple never publicly addressed the incident, but fans quickly speculated that it was connected to Jay-Z's alleged infidelity. In 2016, Beyoncé released her album Lemonade, which seemed to confirm the rumors of cheating, especially with the iconic phrase, "Becky with the good hair." A year later, Jay-Z's album, 444, became his confession, where he admitted to his wrongdoings. In one of the tracks, he rapped, "I apologize, I was cheating all the time, it wasn't until my daughter was born that I could see through a woman's eyes." Interestingly, Jay-Z revealed that he and Beyoncé had initially planned to create a joint album but ended up producing separate projects instead. This series of events revealed the depth of their personal struggles, which they chose to share with the world through their music. Their relationship, often seen as the epitome of success and power, has been marked by betrayal, heartache, and a complex journey toward healing. Jay-Z's infidelity, exposed through his own lyrics, shows how even the most glamorous public figures wrestle with demons in their private lives. Despite the public turmoil, both Jay-Z and Beyoncé have since rebuilt their relationship, showing that even the most painful experiences can lead to growth and understanding. Beyoncé Giselle Knowles Carter. Beyoncé is a name synonymous with talent, hard work, and dedication, yet even she is not immune to controversy. One of the most notable legal battles she faced occurred in 2015, when singer Ahmad Lane filed a lawsuit accusing Beyoncé of plagiarism. Lane claimed that she had stolen elements from his song XOXO to create her hit track XO. According to Lane, he had shared his song with Chrissy Collins, a background singer for Beyoncé, while they were working on a separate project. Lane alleged that Collins passed the song on to Beyoncé, leading to striking similarities between the two tracks. He sued Beyoncé for $7 million, asserting that his intellectual property had been stolen. Beyoncé's legal team did not take these accusations lightly. They vehemently denied the claims, arguing that the two songs were entirely different in terms of lyrics, melody, and structure. Their response pointed out that the only similarity between the tracks was the use of the letters X and O, a common element found in many songs and not exclusive to either piece. Beyoncé's team also highlighted that Lane had failed to register the copyright for his song, weakening his case. In court documents, Beyoncé's legal representatives stressed that Lane's allegations were baseless and demanded the dismissal of his $7 million claim. This lawsuit brought to light an unsettling reality of the entertainment industry, the constant battles over ownership, originality, and the fine line between inspiration and imitation. While Beyoncé's team dismissed the allegations, the very fact that such a high-profile artist was caught in a legal dispute over intellectual property serves as a reminder of the darker side of fame. The world of music, often seen as glamorous and creative, is not immune to the undercurrents of theft, miscommunication, and unresolved tensions. In the end, the case did not result in a financial penalty for Beyoncé, but it exposed the intense pressure and scrutiny that even the most successful stars face when it comes to their work and their public image. For Beyoncé, it was another chapter in a career filled with both triumphs and challenges, adding to the complex layers of her public persona. Suge Knight, Marion Hugh Knight Jr. Suge Knight's life is a turbulent whirlwind of controversy, legal battles, and violence, cementing his place as one of the most notorious figures in music history. As the co-founder of Death Row Records, Knight played a pivotal role in shaping the careers of iconic artists like Tupac Shakur and Dr. Dre. However, his personal life has been anything but glamorous, filled with crime, chaos, and infamy. Knight's troubles began in the 1990s, marked by a probation violation connected to a violent altercation with a gang member. During the infamous night Tupac Shakur was shot, Knight himself was sentenced to 9 years in prison, though he was released early in 2001. Unfortunately, his legal woes didn't end there. He faced numerous probation violations, including an incident in 2003 where he assaulted a parking attendant. His violent reputation extended beyond the courtroom, shaping his persona in the public eye. In 2015, Knight's criminal saga took a darker turn when he was involved in a fatal hit-and-run incident that left his friend, Terry Carter, dead and another man injured. Video footage showed Knight running over the two men, though he claimed it was an act of self-defense. Eventually, Knight pleaded no contest to voluntary manslaughter and was sentenced to 28 years in prison. Outside of these high-profile incidents, Knight's life was riddled with fights, including brawls in nightclubs and accusations of armed robbery. In 2014, he was shot 6 times at a party, yet refused to cooperate with authorities. Despite his significant influence within the music industry, Suge Knight's legacy remains overshadowed by his criminal record. His rise to power in the music world was matched only by his descent into a life of crime, where violence and legal issues became his trademark. Even though Knight left his mark on hip-hop, his tragic story serves as a cautionary tale of how personal demons and a thirst for power can ultimately destroy the very empire someone builds. In the world of stars with dark secrets, Suge Knight's saga is one of the most chilling. Lamar Odom, Lamar Joseph Odom. Lamar Odom's life is a roller coaster of breathtaking highs and devastating lows. A 2-time NBA champion, he lived the dream that many basketball players aspire to, but behind the glamour, he battled demons that almost cost him everything: his career, his relationships, and even his life. Lamar has been open about his struggles, admitting that he hit rock bottom multiple times. One of the most chilling moments came in 2015, when he suffered a near-fatal overdose at a Nevada brothel. He slipped into a coma, and doctors didn't expect him to survive. Against all odds, Lamar defied the grim prognosis and lived to tell the tale. When he woke up from the coma, he was overwhelmed with shame and confusion. He couldn't remember using drugs the night before, and he even suggested that he might have been drugged, as he had been sober for 2 days leading up to the overdose. The experience was a life-altering moment for Lamar, one that would forever change the course of his journey. The near-death experience sparked a turning point in his life. Instead of continuing down the destructive path of addiction, Lamar made a conscious decision to take control of his life. He entered a long and challenging process of recovery, prioritizing his health and well-being above all else. The road to redemption was neither quick nor easy, but Lamar's decision to fight for his life, to rebuild his body and mind, stands as a testament to his resilience. His journey serves as a sobering reminder of the dangers of addiction, and the toll it can take on even the most celebrated figures. Though Lamar's fall from grace was well documented, his recovery and perseverance are what truly define him now. His story is one of survival, self-reflection, and the harsh realities that even stars are not immune to. Behind the glitz and fame, Lamar Odom's life is a stark reminder of the invisible battles fought in the shadows. Lil Wayne, Dwayne Michael Carter Jr. Lil Wayne, a rap legend in his own right, has had a career filled with groundbreaking achievements, but his journey has been marred by legal troubles and controversies that have overshadowed his talent. Over the years, he has found himself entangled in numerous run-ins with the law, leaving his fans concerned not just for his future but his well-being. One of the most significant legal issues occurred in 2019, when he was charged with the illegal possession of a firearm as a convicted felon. Federal agents discovered a gun on his private jet, a discovery that could have resulted in a sentence of up to 10 years in prison. Although this wasn't his first brush with the law, it served as a harsh reminder of the ongoing challenges in his life. Back in 2007, Lil Wayne was arrested in New York on weapons and drug charges, which led to a 1-year sentence at Rikers Island. The following year, he faced another arrest in Arizona for multiple charges related to drugs and firearms. His legal troubles seem to be a recurring theme, like an inescapable cycle. But the drama didn't stop there. His political views also sparked massive controversy. In 2020, just before the presidential election, Lil Wayne met with then-President Donald Trump and voiced his support for his criminal justice reform plan. While some praised the rapper for his political stance, many others criticized him harshly, especially given the highly charged political climate at the time. In addition to his run-ins with the law, Lil Wayne's health has also been a cause for concern. His history of seizures, which are believed to be linked to his ongoing battle with epilepsy, has led to moments of medical crisis, further adding to the troubling narrative of his personal life. Despite his superstar status, Lil Wayne's story serves as a cautionary tale of a man whose incredible talent has been marred by dangerous habits and controversial choices. His life outside the music world has been as turbulent as the beats that made him famous. Azealia Banks, Azealia Amanda Banks. Azealia Banks has undeniably proven her talent in the music industry, but her career has been overshadowed by her notorious reputation for online feuds and shocking behavior. While she has made headlines for her music, it's often her outspoken and sometimes offensive comments on platforms like Twitter and Instagram that capture attention. One of the most infamous incidents occurred in 2016 when she made racially charged and homophobic remarks directed at Zayn Malik, accusing him of copying her style. This led to her being suspended from Twitter and further fueled a public feud with actress Sky Jackson, escalating the backlash. The consequences were severe. She lost performance contracts and was removed from several festivals. Banks' controversies weren't limited to the digital world. She also found herself involved in physical altercations. On more than one occasion, she was kicked off flights for arguments with crew members and passengers, even accusing airlines of racial discrimination. In 2016, she claimed that actor Russell Crowe had choked her at a party, although witnesses claimed she was the aggressor. The incident was eventually dropped, but it was just another chapter in Banks' turbulent public persona. However, things took a darker turn when strange elements began to surface. In 2016, she posted a video showcasing what appeared to be a room where she practiced witchcraft, complete with dead chickens as evidence of her rituals. This video sent shockwaves through her fanbase, leaving many perplexed and disturbed. Then, in 2021, she shocked fans again by revealing that she had exhumed and cooked her dead cat, later clarifying it was part of an effort to stuff the animal. This bizarre act further cemented her image as one of the most unpredictable and controversial figures in the entertainment world. Azealia Banks' life is a whirlwind of talent, scandal, and increasingly unsettling behavior. What began as a promising career in music has been marred by erratic outbursts and a series of incidents that have left many questioning not only her professional choices but her personal sanity as well. 50 Cent, Curtis James Jackson III. 50 Cent is as famous for his music as he is for his public feuds. The rapper has built a reputation as a master of conflict, never holding back when it comes to taking shots at his rivals. One of his most infamous and long-running beefs has been with Ja Rule, which reportedly started from a misunderstanding involving a robbery and quickly escalated into years of diss tracks, physical altercations, and public humiliation. In a now legendary move, 50 Cent bought 200 front-row tickets to one of Ja Rule's concerts, only to leave them empty, forcing Ja to perform in front of an almost empty arena. 50 Cent's contentious behavior doesn't stop there. He also took shots at Jay-Z and Beyoncé, calling Jay's music golf course music and accusing him of winning multiple Grammys simply because he was married to Beyoncé. He even claimed that award shows favored the power couple just to ensure their attendance. While Jay-Z largely refrained from responding, the one-sided nature of the feud only fueled 50's fire. His ability to stir up drama extended to other artists like Fat Joe, whom he dissed for collaborating with Ja Rule. The conflict was so intense that it reportedly cost Fat Joe his endorsement deal with Michael Jordan, though the two later reconciled. 50 Cent's knack for stirring the pot left an indelible mark on the music industry, with his feuds becoming as much a part of his legacy as his chart-topping hits. But behind these public battles lies a darker side to the rapper's persona. Known for his tough image, 50 Cent has faced numerous personal struggles that have sometimes overshadowed his career. While his beefs may be entertaining to some, the real-life consequences of his actions have shown a side of him that is far less glamorous. From business controversies to issues with the law, 50 Cent's secret life reflects the darker undercurrents of fame and fortune. Steve Harvey, Broderick Stephen Harvey. Steve Harvey is undeniably one of the most recognizable faces in entertainment, but his career has been far from free of controversy. Perhaps his most publicized mistake occurred during the 2015 Miss Universe pageant, where he famously announced the wrong winner. After mistakenly crowning Miss Colombia instead of Miss Philippines, Harvey's error became an internet sensation. For days, social media buzzed with the blunder, forcing Harvey to issue multiple public apologies, a moment that would forever live in infamy. But the drama in Harvey's life doesn't stop at pageants. His personal life has been just as turbulent, especially his bitter divorce from his first wife, Mary Harvey. She accused him of infidelity throughout their 10-year marriage and claimed that he left her financially devastated after their split. In a public tirade, Mary demanded $50 million and even threatened legal action for violating her civil rights. While Harvey denied these allegations, the scandal surrounding his marriage left a lasting mark on his public persona. Behind the glitz and glamour of his TV shows and comedy tours lies a much darker, more complex personal life. Harvey's marriage to Mary was just the tip of the iceberg in a series of tumultuous relationships that have fueled tabloids and gossip for years. His controversial remarks on various subjects, particularly about women and relationships, have often sparked outrage. Despite his reputation as a family man and role model, the true story of Steve Harvey's private life is riddled with messy breakups, public feuds, and scandalous accusations that contradict the image of a perfect, smiling talk show host. Steve Harvey's career and personal life have been marked by highs and lows, with moments of immense success shadowed by public missteps and explosive personal drama. His legacy, though built on his wit and charm, is also tainted by the less glamorous aspects of his past, revealing a far more complicated figure than the one who graces television screens. Meghan Markle, Rachel Meghan Markle. The story of Meghan Markle has been nothing short of dramatic ever since she met Prince Harry in 2016. Their fairy tale wedding in 2018 captivated the world, but by January 2020, they shocked the globe by stepping down from their senior royal duties. The couple moved to California in mid-2020, citing their desire for a quieter life to raise their son Archie. A year later, they welcomed their daughter Lilibet. Despite their exit from the royal fold, they retained the titles of Duke and Duchess of Sussex but lost the use of HRH, Her Royal Highness, and Harry relinquished his military roles. However, their life in America has not been without controversy. Their relationship with the royal family grew increasingly strained, culminating in 2023 when they were asked to vacate Frogmore Cottage, their official residence in the UK. This marked the end of their ties to a home base in Britain. The couple's time in the United States has been filled with scandal and scrutiny. Harry faced questions about his visa status, as he openly admitted to past drug use. Many questioned how he was allowed into the country, but a U.S. judge ruled that his records would remain sealed. Behind the public spectacle, there are layers of secrets and hidden drama. Meghan and Harry have often been the subject of media attacks, particularly for their decision to leave the royal family and their outspoken criticism of the institution. Their lives, once filled with privilege and duty, have now become a maze of legal battles, media wars, and personal revelations that keep the public guessing. Their exit from the royal family was a watershed moment in modern British history, but it was only the beginning of a new chapter filled with personal and public struggles. Will Smith, Willard Carroll Smith II. The 94th Academy Awards in 2022 became unforgettable, but not for the reasons anyone expected. During the live broadcast, Will Smith shocked the world when he slapped comedian Chris Rock on stage. Rock had made a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith's shaved head, a sensitive subject as she suffers from alopecia, a condition that causes hair loss. The slap stunned the audience, and as Smith returned to his seat, he shouted at Rock to keep his wife's name out of his mouth. The tension in the air was palpable, and the world could not stop talking about it. That evening, Will won the Best Actor Oscar for his role in King Richard. His emotional speech centered on love and protection, but he did not apologize to Chris Rock until the following day. The fallout was monumental. Will resigned from the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences and was banned from attending any Academy events for the next 10 years. Despite the controversy, Rock chose not to press charges. However, the consequences for Will went beyond the Oscars. Netflix canceled the planned sequel to Bright, and the incident severely tarnished his public image. Will's actions became a global talking point, with people divided on whether his response was justified or an overreaction. What was once a picture-perfect image of a family man and an acclaimed actor had now been marred by an impulsive moment of violence that would forever change his legacy. This incident revealed the fragility of the lives of celebrities, where personal struggles and public expectations clash in dramatic ways. Will's career, once at its peak, now faced an uncertain future. His reputation, built over decades of hard work, was overshadowed by a single, violent outburst that took over the headlines. The painful reality of fame and the immense pressure that comes with it were exposed to the public, leaving many to question the true cost of stardom. And there you have it, 25 black celebrities with the most horrifying secret lives that many of us never knew about. Their journeys show us that even the brightest stars can have dark chapters. What's your take on these shocking revelations? Do you believe some of these secrets were blown out of proportion, or do you think they're true? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and share it with your friends. And, of course, make sure to subscribe to Legends of Black Excellence for more deep dives into the untold stories of your favorite celebrities. Stay tuned for more jaw-dropping content.